There is a narrow window given by the Chinese for flights into Wuhan, and the weather conditions were such that the plane couldn't take off, so everything's delayed by a day. We're hoping to have these families back on Friday.
Justin Trudeau explaining why a flight set to bring home more than 200 Canadians stranded in Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, was delayed by about a day.
We are now asking Canadians who have a confirmed seat on the plane to arrive at the airport in Wuhan no later than 5 p.m. local time on February 6.
Foreign Affairs Minister François-Philippe Champagne calling the evacuation that was delayed amid strong winds a complex operation, in part because Chinese authorities are only allowing evacuation flights at night. Champagne has said there is a plane on standby in Hanoi, Vietnam, ready to go. When the plane eventually arrives in Canada, those on board who would have already been screened before takeoff and during the flight will be quarantined at Canadian Forces Base Trenton in Ontario for 14 days. As for numbers, the Foreign Affairs Minister puts the latest tally at 211 Canadians on the manifest for the first flight out of Wuhan, but the total requesting to leave is 373. A second flight could soon be added.
If the second plane is the fastest way, definitely. If we can get them seats on Allies' plane, that's also a possibility.
To another coronavirus development involving more than 250 Canadians. They're among the nearly 4,000 people on the Diamond Princess cruise ship off the coast of Japan that's now being quarantined for 14 days after several people tested positive for the virus. So far, none of them Canadian.
And we want to reassure the families both on the cruise ship that we are alert and engaged in their issue, and trying to work with families at home to reassure them as well.
We paid for a cruise, and by golly, that's what we're getting.
Posting videos and photos from his ship cabin after he and other passengers were told to remain in their rooms, British traveler David Abel feared he may fall into a diabetic coma if proper food wasn't delivered to him soon. But after his post received a flood of media attention,
there have been lots and lots of emails sent to Princess Cruise Lines, and those emails have been acted upon, and we have had waiters come into the room offering us meals so frequently, it's been unbelievable.
On a different cruise ship, this one in Hong Kong, some 3,600 passengers and crew confined to this vessel after several people on board had tested positive for the virus. And the World Health Organization, which has, of course, declared a global health emergency over the coronavirus, it's asking for contributions from governments around the world to the tune of $675 million U.S. to help launch what it calls a global preparedness and response plan to deal with the outbreak. The Canadian government so far just confirming that it has received the request. For City News, I'm Melissa Duggan.